Hi guys, thanks for tuning into the channel today. About 12 months ago I bought me first Honda in the 350 single line, and that's the GB350, and I've had that bike now for roughly 12 months, and it's been a really good bike as far as reliability goes and stuff like that. Now the best thing about that particular bike is Honda naturally thought that other parts of the world would like to have a crack at it too, and it's now available in the UK as a S version or sports version, I'd say. Now compared to the one I've got, which is just the stock GB350, I think over there in the UK, from what I believe is the sports version has got like more sportier, sort of shorter looking mudguards front and rear, and they have got that almost fully blacked out exhaust, where the Aussie version has got the full chrome exhaust. Now and I think they've just done a little bit more sportier seat on them too. So it's only, three cosmetics, the main ones that sort of stand out, like switch from model to model. And where I've got a 19-inch front wheel and 18-inch rear, on the sports version they got a 19-inch front and a 17-inch rear. So that's something that they've gone in that line. Now meanwhile, only about 2 weeks ago, Australia has now got on offer the classic version, which has got, I think, a slightly different mudguard setup even compared to one I've got, sort of more, I think looking back, it looks something to compete with, say, a classic 350 or something like that, like more designed, sculptured sort of mudguards on that one, and the old style exhaust that runs straight along the bottom or pretty close to what's following the lines of a classic 350. And don't know what the price is on that one. I suppose it would be only a couple $100 more than the stock one. Stock one comes in here now at $7,800, so I'd reckon they'd probably pull that one up. The only thing is they haven't got any really crash-hot colours in them either, as usual. I thought they'd bring in something a little bit more appealing to the eye, but no, for some reason they just like picking the dull colours for these. So, but overall, if you wipe that aside and you ask what these bikes are like now, say you're looking at, can't really comment on the riding style of the S version or the sports version that's coming out now, but if you ask, as far as I know, like the engine, gearbox, all that sort of stuff, the gearing, everything's the same from one bike to the other. So what I can tell you about these bikes is, if you're on the market now and you'd want to listen to someone who's had one for a long period of time, like 12 or 13 months or something like that, which is a fair while, I can tell you they're a nice, reliable bike to ride, and I think if you're in the market for a bike like this, you'd be really happy, because best thing about I like it, they're very low on the vibration in the foot pegs or in the handlebars itself. They're a fairly comfortable bike to ride on. They're, got a really nice exhaust note. And, I don't know about the new versions coming out with the classic style low rider exhaust running like a long frame level. But, I think the UK version and the ones we got here, both of them got really nice exhaust notes on them. They're really got a nice little clutch on them, and you've got traction control, dual channel ABS. You've really got a good package, if you're in the market to buy one of these to get out there and enjoy it, and they're good to ride around town. I think the best feature around town riding is definitely that slip and assist clutch. It's so light to use, and you can get into it, and you'll never get sort of hand cramps or anything like that from some of the bikes which have got a really heavy clutch full. Seat height is up around 800 mils, so in my case it's probably a little bit higher than that, because I got different tyres on mine, and it's pushed the bike up a little bit higher. They're really nice, well-balanced bikes, easy to ride, good on handling. They're just a really good package for what they are, and I think most people would be happy. That's one thing. The other, the big question is at the moment, are they really good bikes? And my thoughts are, yeah, they are really good bikes, and they're nice to ride and pretty good on petrol. I think I'm getting around about 35 to the litre, something like that, riding it around, up around at 100 kilometres an hour. And, the best thing about it, it's a really good ride, comfortable ride, and an engaging ride, and you can get out there and flog it through the corners or just cruise along 100 kilometres out along the straights. It'll do everything you want in a bike, like it'd surprise you how good the bike is itself. The only really drawback I've found with the bike, if you had to be critical on anything, I do find from a cold start, because of the Euro 5 emissions, it's a bit, highly strung on the throttle, and it seems to sit up in the high revs for the first couple of minutes when you take off. And, you have to be a little bit careful there, because it can propel itself along at 50 kilometres an hour with no hand on the throttle. But, after a couple of minutes, that just drops down and you're on your way. And then the other side is it's a really easy maintenance bike. So if you want to get there and do an oil and filter change or anything like that, the oil filter is easy to get at, easy to drop the thing, doesn't cost you much to do it, and you can do all that yourself with no trouble whatsoever. So overall, it's good in that line. Now, you can ride it in anywhere you want it, really, like sealed roads, dirt roads, anything like that, and it'll take anything you can throw at it within reason and does a really good job. And more importantly, when you do get on dirt, it's a nice stable bike and it doesn't wander around all that much unless you get into a really bad gravelly road, and probably won't matter what you're riding, then you're still going to be moving around a bit. But, I'd have the confidence to ride this, in my case, a GB350, anywhere I'd like to point it, because they are just such a good, reliable bike, and they just never let you down. So if you're on the fence and you can't decide whether or not you want to buy one of these bikes, don't hesitate, go out and get one, and I'm pretty sure after you ride one you'll be really happy with how it performs, how it goes and how reliable it is. And I think they either come now with a 1 or 2 year warranty, I'm not sure, depends on what country they're going to. And the best thing about you're on a Honda and you're there for peace of mind, and I suppose overall the resale will be a little bit better further down the track in case you want to upgrade to a bigger Honda. Now the stock suspension, it's pretty good too. It handles the bumps okay for, it won't take any really bad hits on potholes, but for normal riding out along the road, around town, a bit of dirt road too, it handles everything there, as good as what you would expect on, a bike built in this price bracket. The other good thing I like about it is, some people have said to me, it would be a lot better if it had spoked wheels on it, and probably would in one way, but if you do the opposite end of the scale and look at it a little bit different, you say to yourself, well, it's got tubeless tyres on it, which is a real plus, and given the choice, I don't mind the cast wheels and the tubeless tyres, and compared to the risk of running a bike around with the tube in them, I've had no issues so far out there. And this bike's been out on the road and had a bit of punishment along some of those dirt roads and really rough dirt roads, and I just take a tubeless tyre repair kit just in case something goes wrong on the off chance. But so far so good, no drama in that way. So overall, it's good on that side too. Now it's also got a pretty big fuel tank for what most of these bikes are, 15 litres, so if you're flogging along at 30 kilometres a litre, you are pushing up to around that 500 kilometres on a full tank, if you get out there and conditions are good and you're cruising along, so you can handle that side of it too. So, it's got some really good things going for it, and I think, pluses where, not many minuses, but a lot of pluses. So I think if you ask me what I'd like to see them come out with, the priority would be, how about they bring it out now, or the next couple of models, shouldn't be that hard to do, and give them some jazzy paint jobs, like similar to what they made them in the 70s, or copying Royal Enfield and put some fancy colours on them like that, just to give them a bit of a kickstart. Now, that'd be really good, because I'm pretty sure that, if you had a bike that's visually appealing, and what I mean by visually appealing, how you can pick a good visually appealing bike is once you pull up and get off it, if you will get off that bike, walk 10 or 15 feet, look back and smile and think, yeah, that's not bad. Well, at this stage, a Classic 350 will do that any day, but the GB350, in my case, the only way I could get that kick back and look back and say, yeah, that looks okay, is I had to rub it back and respray it a different colour myself. And in this case, I chose, Team Red Honda, And I think that picked it up a bit in that line. But, like if Honda got their tail into gear and decided, we'll give these nice flash colours like they ran in the early model Highnesses over there in India. Yeah, I tell you what, they'd have a really attractive bike, because you only have to go on YouTube and look back at the early model Highnesses when they first come out, and the blues or reds, all the other colours like that. They're really pretty bikes. There's no risk. You would look at it and say, that's pretty good. Some of them sort of reminded me, not the same graphics or anything like that, but same style of colouring what they would have used once in the 70s on the CB350 Twin. So, that'd be the only thing. Everything else about the bike's okay. There was talk later on they might bring out a CB500. Well, that may happen in a single, or it may not. But, that's another story, and only time will tell in that line. But anyway, if you found this interesting, by all means, think about giving it a thumbs up. And if you want to subscribe to the channel and see more on this GB350, by all means do. And once again, thanks for tuning in. Take your time to have a look, and I'll catch you on the next clip.